And all right, now we should be ready. Perfect. Everything's fixed and we are ready to roll. So the step number one is really to divide reality ruthlessly. Now the key point here is ruthlessly. No hard feelings. Separate what is within your control from what is not. Your judgment, intentions, and actions are yours. Other people's feelings, loyalty, outcomes, time, health, and possessions are not. So we're also getting into the first and basic Stoic rule, which is you only control your own mind and your own mission. Other people's emotions, loyalty, outcomes, time, health is not under your control. That means that you never ever try to manipulate other people. You always expect the unexpected. You predict the worst possible outcomes. You practice dark psychology. And you're just overall prepared. Because what really ruins people's lives is a shock factor of certain events. How could this happen? How could he or she do this to me? They were the closest people. I would never expect this. The shock factor ruins you. It puts people down on their knees and it makes them miserable. Okay? This is actually the biggest pain trigger, is unexpected events. Now, when you're walking into a certain situation, you always expect the worst, just so you can protect yourself. If it doesn't happen, perfect, you're winning. But if it does happen, you're prepared. You thought about it. What is the number one reason people are getting divorced? Well, they get married first. So the marriage is the number one reason or number one cause of divorce. Every single time you enter any relationship, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, or a marriage, you also predict that this could end at any point because emotions are unstable surface. They might change. People change. Life changes. And you as a Stoic man or a Stoic woman are expecting this. You're not going to be caught up in a shock factor. Detachment begins the moment you stop demanding ownership over what was never yours. Humans and things. Everything comes under condition. Human relationships are transactions. People are mutually benefiting from each other. Things also require your investment. You got to pay for the car, you got to pay for the gas, pay for the oil, pay for the insurance. Pay. There's always a condition, okay? So within these conditions, you operate and you just accept it as part of the life. You really are not trying to change it. It is what it is. You don't own anything. Pretty much things are rented, people as well. The step number two is withdraw value from externals. People and things have no inherent power over you. You give them value through attachment. Train yourself to say, this is preferred, not required. What is required is character. Everything else is just a luxury. Okay? So, you really don't want to rely on someone from the external factors, like people or things, because then pretty much the entire value and worth of your life is dependent on something that you cannot control. So you don't really put a whole lot of value to things and people who enter your life. It sounds crazy, I know. It sounds complete opposite from what the society has been teaching you, from what you've been raised to believe so. But when you actually assign a huge value to external factors, somewhere in your life, somebody will blow a nuclear weapon on your head, and then you're going to realize why Stoics were teaching what they were teaching. They were actually right. Stoic teaching is about protecting you. It's really not trying to hurt you. It's not trying to make you lonely. It's really about protecting you. So as the external factors are getting closer to you, people are getting closer to you, opportunities, things, you don't assign a big value to them. I know you're married. Great. This might end at any point. Don't add your entire life's worth or value on this marriage. Don't consider it as number one thing in your life. Because if your wife changes your life, you're going to be back at this live stream finally considering this information as valuable. Okay? So this is really all about protection. Don't ever put a huge value on the external factors. Only put value to the things that you can actually control. Number three, practice preemptive loss. This is a dark psychology. Mentally rehearse absence. Imagine losing the person, the object, the status calmly and deliberately. Imagine if you were no one, all of a sudden, from a successful position, you're dropping down. back to the scratch, back to the beginnings. Will you crumble? Is that going to destroy you? Is this going to destroy your identity? Or are you going to lose self-respect or self-love? The answer is no. You always are coming from the position of internal happiness, and a status doesn't make you happy. Objects or people don't make you happy because you're complete within. That's really the point of this step. Do not suffer, but remind yourself, I survived before this and I will survive after this. Anytime you're facing a tragic moment. Here's the thing. Imagination tends to make things much, much harder and much bigger than the reality actually is. That's why Machiavelli was saying that if you're trying to hurt a man, don't ever tell him how you're going to hurt him. Why? Because his imagination is going to take him to the deep waters, and it's going to imagine much worse things that you're even capable of. So, when you imagine you're going to go through the hardship, when you're in the middle of it, it's not as bad as you thought it's going to be. If you are so worried about leaving your job or getting a divorce, you know it's inevitable, you know it's going to come, it's not going to be as bad as you think. When you're in the middle of it, you look at your hands, you're still alive, your heartbeat is still on, you're still breathing, you're still working out, you still wake up and go to bed, you found your circadian rhythm, you still go to work. Geez, I survived. Yes. Why did you survive? Because the imagination just put your worst nightmare on the steroids. And when you go through it, it's not as bad. You will overcome this. You lived before, you're going to live after, whatever the bad situation you're going through. The step number 4 is enjoy without possessing. Hold everything as if on a loan, especially human relationships. Especially. You never really want to get so attached to people like you feel those people belong to you. When the relationship with another human is good, just enjoy your time. Just have fun. Don't take it seriously. Don't take yourself seriously, not even the other person. Whether it's romantic or friendship, it doesn't really matter. At this point, when you really look at everything as the loan, you will not assign value to it. Hence, it cannot make you happy because you know it's temporary. The car you love right now, you're going to lose it at some point. Like nobody has a car for 50 or 60 years. Okay, at some point, the car is going to die. You're going to sell it. You're going to destroy it, whatever. Nothing's going to last forever. So the sooner you adapt this perspective, the sooner you're going to be happy and more centered you're going to be. When would people be present but never fused? When using things, appreciate them but never identify by them. You're driving a Bugatti. You're driving a luxurious car. You're driving a motorcycle. Doesn't matter. Have fun. Okay? Have fun, but never identify yourself by that luxurious car. Ever. It's just a thing. You enjoy it in the moment, but that's really is. Say inwardly, I am grateful, but I am not dependent. If this car goes, it's all good. If I'm having a great relationship and this woman decides to leave me, it is what it is. You cannot really control other people's minds. You only control your own brain and your own mission. Step number 5 is master your judgments. Events do not disturb you, interpretations do. When pain arises, ask, is this harm or is it discomfort? And most of the times you realize it's just a discomfort. As we said before in the previous points, the imagination has the ability to make everything seem much worse than it actually is. And when it gets to that, when your worst nightmare is about to happen, the divorce, the loss of job, this and that, you're going to realize you're still living. I see all the comments, beautiful people. I'll get to your comments right after I finish next 2 points. Number 6, reduce desire, increase sufficiency. Freedom grows as desire shrinks. Train yourself to need less approval, fewer comforts, fewer guarantees. As a man, you will have to control your sexual desires. At some point in life, every single man will have to get their sexual desires under control because it's going to ruin your life. There will be a woman who's going to use that and turn that against you and literally blow all of your entire bank account. You're going to lose everything to her, and then you realize you lost everything to your desires, uncontrolled desires, okay? There are people who will be able to manipulate you and use your desires against you, and when you're controlled by things or behaviors, you're really not going to be happy, ever. Then, as we said, okay, don't look for the approval, ever. You have to feel like you're enough and complete by yourself. Don't look for the validation. Don't look for the approval. Feel that you're complete by yourself. Okay, hold on, which one is the... Okay. Remove, hide, there you go. Ban user, perfect. We got this person banned, we can continue. So don't ever assign your value to other things. Don't ever look for validation because that turns people off. You generally don't want to communicate weakness to the world. One of the weaknesses that humans communicate to the world is asking for validation. If you need to hear that you're enough, it automatically turns other people off and they stop seeing you as valuable and confident. When a man does that to women, he will emotionally turn them off and they will stop respecting him if he does that over and over and over. You don't want to communicate any weakness. Validation is one of the weaknesses. Now, next one, fewer comforts, fewer guarantees. Don't look for the guarantees out of situations. Expectations ruin the happiness. If you walk into a business and you're expecting this business to make 20K, just shut the expectation down. Do everything that's in your power to make 20K a month, let's say, but don't rely on the guarantees because it's not. If you hit 15 or 12K, you're going to feel like a failure, but you just came from 0 to 12K. Instead, you should be appreciative. So expectations ruin happiness. Voluntary simplicity is not deprivation, it is armor, 100%. Once when you realize, and this is what helped me personally in my life, when I got some big money first, I got a little crazy. Came from the poor background, bought like 15 cars I didn't really need, all kinds of brands I really wanted. Then I realized I blew money for unnecessary things that didn't make me happy over time, okay? And eventually I got rid of them. I kept a couple of cars, Rolls Royce, Corvette, some truck, motorcycles, etc. But I got rid of most of the cars. However, once when I started adapting the mindset that I don't personally need much, really, I just need a lot of money to be invested, but in terms of material stuff, it doesn't really make me happy. My net worth started blowing up like crazy. That's where I really experienced tremendous growth of my net worth, where I stopped looking for material things to make me happy. The person who needs little is hard to enslave, 100%. Who needs little validation, emotion, love, material things, when you feel complete and whole by yourself, when you hear a compliment, you say thank you, but it doesn't really boost your ego. When you hear criticism, you just wave your hand, you just keep walking, you don't give a fuck. That's really the internal power. That's the human who cannot be broken just like that, okay? Now the step number 4 is anchor your identity and virtue alone. Build your identity on what cannot be taken, your mind and your mission. People and things should always be taken. Again, we already talked about it. Those are loaned. They don't belong to you forever. Not relationships, not possessions, not reputation. Only wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control endure under all conditions. When your worth rests there, nothing external can threaten you. And this is when you completely gain the internal strength, when you're always in the center of your emotions. You don't worry about anything. You're whole by yourself. The wisdom, the courage, and the justice within are the true values, not the possessions, not the relationships, because those are the external factors. So identity is in virtue alone. All right, let's get to your questions here. Let's see what we got. What's going on, my friends? Keep the launch stream coming. Miss those. So I'm going to get back to the stories right after I'm going to go through the basic points of what the Stoicism teaches, because we need some materials for people to really understand the Stoic teachings and they can start applying that. And after you understand the concept, it's going to be so much easier for you to understand where I'm coming from when I'm talking about the human relationships as we discussed in the emails. But certainly, launch streams is the way to go. It creates a sense of community, of course. I struck my spark. What is your advice? Can I be moderator here? Some people are writing the bad things. Don't worry about bad things or negative comments. We'll just ban them and we'll keep going. Especially when the live streams are going to grow, you know, which is not going to be immediately because I just started in English language. So like a year from now or so, when there's going to be a couple hundred people, it's just absolutely common. Here and there, it just ban people. I tricked you. He didn't do anything. Unban him. He didn't do anything. Okay, here we go. We unbanned him. Patty, you tricked me. I was in the middle of the speech. All right, there's really not a real question. We unbanned the person who was banned for no reason, obviously. I thought he's disturbing in the chat, which I'm kind of used to because I do these streamings, you know, in native language, etc. So there's always some people that need to be banned during the live stream. But so this person is just welcome to come back. However, guys, watch these streams. Take everything seriously that I'm telling you here because this is going to lead you to ultimate happiness that is found within. We're going to discuss in the future, of course, fitness, relationships, finances, etc. Because every man needs emotional, physical, and a financial strength to be happy. Take power away from the man, he's going to crumble. And hit the like and subscribe on my video because the algorithm really loves channels that are getting the interactions from the audience. Until next time, I'm out.